Good morning, everyone. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lauren, and thank you for watching my channel, Summer Moon Garden. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for watching. I do a lot of garden videos, obviously. I have lots of pretty flowers. As you can see, I'm just sitting here on my front porch right now. Doing this little intro because I haven't introduced myself in, gosh, a really long time. So I thought, you know what? It's probably time to do that. But again, my name is Lauren and I live in North Georgia and we are zone 7 here. So it is July 23rd right now and the sun is very hot. We have actually had the rainiest July that I can remember ever. It has been raining like nonstop, but these past couple of days the sun has come back out and now it's just nice and steamy and humid, and I haven't really been out in the garden very much because of that. So I thought today what I would do is do a tour of the garden, show you the garden, what it looks like in mid-July, which is a weedy mess right now because of certain circumstances. We've been traveling a whole lot this summer. We went to Mexico and then we went to Colorado, pretty much within 3 weeks of each other. And sorry, I was waving at my neighbor who just passed by. We had like a 3-week lull in between that, but I was sick. I came down with an infection in one of my very back teeth and I actually had to get it pulled. Really bad infection. Now I know what was making me sick for several weeks and just didn't realize it. So if you guys have root canal teeth, be very watchful of it, because if an infection goes undetected, it can wreak havoc on your health. And that's just the studying naturopath speaking within me. I'm also studying to become a naturopath. So I'm doing school and I have a family. I've got 2 kids and an amazing husband. So this is a very busy house, lots going on. But my passion is gardening. I love gardening. I love nature, everything to do with it. And I just enjoy sharing what I have created around our property. And I appreciate all of y'all that continue to watch and follow my channel. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. So I just want to let you know. But I think what today I'm going to do is just show you around how the garden looks right now. There's a lot of great stuff going on in the vegetable garden. There's also a lot of weeds. So I'm just going to show you how it is right now here in mid-July. And then what I'll probably end up doing is once I get my butt back in gear, because I've been very weak lately trying to heal from this infection. So I haven't been able to do any weeding in the garden, I've been able to harvest some things, but even being out in the heat, I just don't have the energy. When you're fighting a staph and strep infection and amoeba infection that has kind of gone systemic, it's scary, and you have to focus on healing for sure. So right now the garden is a weedy mess, but I'm just going to show you how it is because this is life and that's the way it is. So what I'll do is I'll do like a before, because there's a lot of really pretty things in bloom right now. So I want to show you that. But we'll do kind of like what it looks like right now, and then I'll weed, and then I'll take another garden tour video after we end up weeding. So you can kind of see the difference in how everything looks. So, all right, I'm going to get started and come along with me and you can see my garden. Okay, since I am right here, I'm going to start with the front porch because there are some really pretty things. Some are not looking so good. I've got to pick off some yellowing leaves on that geranium there, but there's still some really pretty looking things. I got some flowers, and I have not fertilized these plants in probably about a month. So there's not a ton of flowers, but it's not too bad. We've got a really pretty dahlia here that I picked up at my local nursery. and the blooms are kind of pretty sparse right now. When it's fed on a regular basis, it's completely covered in blooms usually. But see, I've got another one right here, as you can see. Very pretty. And then I've got this really cool rosebud geranium. I absolutely love geraniums. They're one of my favorite plants. And I actually overwinter mine in my garage. So I'll just take this and put it in the garage when it gets cold and bring it back out when it gets warm, and they do just fine. Some people think that they're just annuals and you have to get rid of them when it gets cold, but that's not true. You can actually overwinter these if you've got space. You can actually even bring them in the house. Isn't that beautiful? This one is called, I think it's called Granger's Antique Rose, which is a really beautiful geranium. And then let's see here. Say hi. I don't know if I've introduced Luigi before. You say hi, buddy. He's one of our new kitties. Yeah. He is the sweetest little boy. So precious. Poor guy. I think he's got allergies. I need to give him his medicine this morning. Here's another really pretty geranium. And I'm not sure what the name is on this one. I had gotten them from an online friend who lives in San Juan now. But he was so kind to actually ship these out to me because I've been wanting more rosebud varieties. And he was so kind to do that. And I believe this is another rosebud variety, but right now it's not blooming. It grew like crazy, but now it's kind of dying off a little bit, but it'll be fine. These plants are so strong. And then here's another that I picked up from my local nursery. This is an ivy geranium. Look how beautiful and glossy the leaves are. Isn't that just amazing? Oh, I love ivy geraniums, and they're so pretty. This one, I think I had the tag stuck in here. Yeah. This one's called Precision Rose. It's so beautiful. One of my favorites. And then we've got some hostas and caladiums, more geraniums, and look at this beautiful little hosta here. I think this one is called, not mouse ears, I forget. I should have kept the tag, bummer. It's really cute though. I've been trying to get this sign to stick up on the on the stack stone, but I can't get it to work. We tried this really sticky stuff, but it didn't stick. Do you want to go inside? Okay, go on in. Go on in. And then here we've got some really beautiful echeverias, and they're blooming. Isn't that pretty? I've never seen those kind of blooms before. And then those are my fake plants over there, because not everything can be real. And I've got fake succulents in my head planter because there are some things I just don't want to deal with, and it's nice to know that that's always going to look like that. These head planters, they dry out so easily. So for me, that was the best thing to do. One thing I did forget to mention, we do have the grass taken care of by a landscape company. So I don't deal with the grass. I let those guys deal with it, but everything else is taken care of by me and my husband. But thankfully I don't have to deal with the grass. So just a tip, so you know. Some people like to know those things, but here's some annuals. We've got some Supertunia, and I believe this is called Mandevilla. This is the first year I've grown this. I really like that. It's really pretty. And then here is our front walkway. Things are a bit messy right now, like that old rose cane there. And by the way, when I'm showing you this garden tour, some people are under the impression when you do a garden tour that everything needs to be perfect and, you know, or whatever. And that's just not how I work. And that's okay. Like, people can have that impression if they want, you know, but just please be kind. I've had some comments before where they're like, just not so kind comments. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm just showing you for what this is. It's not meant to give off the impression that my garden is perfect, and I'm just not a super controlling gardener like that. I like things natural. For instance, right here, you see this pumpkin? This just grew up by itself. I did not plant that there, but it would be really awesome if I got some pumpkins off of it. So guess what? I'm leaving it there to grow, and hopefully we will get something off of it. I do need to kind of pick it up off the pathway and put it back in this way. It looks like there might be one developing down there. So, but yeah, so much for my paradise supertunias. Oh well, that's okay. I'd rather have some pumpkins if I can manage it. So, but this right here is a really nice salvia, and the bees and the pollinators just absolutely love it. It's covered right now with lots and lots of bees. So I really like to plant things that pollinators love. I've got hummingbirds, so I like to plant things for hummingbirds. I used to put out a hummingbird feeder, but I don't anymore. I actually just let them rely on plants, and I try to plant as many hummingbird loving plants as possible. Here's how the new bed is doing. It's looking really great. Those darn bindweed seedlings are coming up like crazy though, so we've got to come in and pick everything up and stay on top of it. Otherwise, it's gonna get covered in weeds again. See? Look at all those little darn things. Drive me crazy. Oh my goodness. So I gotta get out here and pick those before they get any worse. Here I've got a limelight hydrangea, and this one I believe is called a candy apple hydrangea. Look at that beautiful color. This one blooms earlier than the limelights. Isn't that just fabulous? I love the color. This is probably one of my favorite hydrangeas, hydrangea paniculata. I love macrophylla as well, but paniculata, they dry so well, so you can bring the flowers in the fall, and they just look so beautiful, and they last for years. I've actually got some dried flowers in my house from last year. All right, so this is the really weedy area here. The mint has kind of taken over. As you can see, it's even laying out in the driveway, but it still has some really pretty things. So I wanted to come down here and show you, because the rudbeckia is in full bloom and it's just looking incredible right now. Isn't that beautiful? I love looking at the garden from this viewpoint because of the hydrangeas in the back. That hydrangea right there is a phantom, and this one is called strawberry vanilla. So that one, once the blooms mature, they should turn more pink. But I love the yellow with the pink and then the white, and it just really flows nicely together. It's so beautiful. And this is such an easy plant to grow. It's and it reseeds itself very vigorously. It can almost be considered a little bit invasive. I believe this one is called, what is it? Black-eyed Susan. The one in the back there that has a little bit of a bigger flower here. Here's one as well. This one is a little bit bigger, same as it, from the same variety, It's a rudbeckia, but it's called Indian Summer. This one is called Goldstrum. That's right. I had to give myself a second to remember the variety name. But it really is just, you know, late or mid to late summer, you know, end of July. Look at how gorgeous this is. And look at how the wind picks it up and just gently sways in the wind. I can't believe we actually are having a little bit of a breeze today. It's highly unusual for July. Oh, and I don't know if you can see it. There is a hummingbird. Do you see him? Right there. He's getting into my salvia. Oh, how awesome is that? Now he's into the phlox. This is why I love planting mostly pollinator plants. How wonderful is that? We've got builders building a house in the background. How wonderful is that? He just flew off. How special. I'm so glad I was able to get that on tape. But here, you can't really see because it's so grown over. There's supposed to be a pathway here. It's covered in mint right now, though. Oh my goodness. Smells good when you step on it, though. But here I've got the hydrangeas, some grasses, iris that look beautiful in the spring, Indian Summer Rudbeckia, which I love how big the flowers are, and they last a really long time. So I highly recommend, if you want like a really low maintenance plant, Rudbeckia is the way to go. I actually grew this from seed. Hey kitty. Hi baby. More phlox. And then here's my Olivia Austin rose, which is looking pretty good. It's not flowering right now. I should probably maybe cut it back just a little bit. Oh wait, it's got a little bit of blooms over there. And then look how tall this rose has gotten. Oh my goodness. That is Madame Anisette, actually. Definitely need to cut that one back. Good grief. And then I've got a couple of roses in here that just aren't really doing so well. I'm probably going to pull those up. This one's half dead. That one's half dead. That's an Abraham Darby. And then that one is not really looking so hot either. And then I've got some blueberry bushes in here. Tons of daylilies that I never was able to take a video of, because when they were in bloom, that's when I was really struggling. Or you know what? There's some blooms still actually down here that I can show you on one of the plants. It's still looking really pretty. Look at that. I don't remember the variety name. But this is probably my favorite color in daylilies. That peachy, yellowy pink. I love that. Whoops. Oh, and by the way, I ended up moving the peonies into this bed when we redid that bed over there. Okay, now we're gonna head to the back and I'm gonna show you the pool area and the vegetable garden. Almost forgot to show you these pretty dahlias that I've got growing here in the driveway in pots. I believe this one is Cafe au lait. And this one is brown sugar. Isn't that pretty? The bees love hanging out on it. And then I'm not sure which one this is, but it's got a really pretty purple flower to it. Okay, let's head to the back. Okay, here is our pool area in July. It's looking really nice and lush and green, and the limelight hydrangeas are in full bloom right now. They look beautiful. Isn't that just wonderful? I have 7 shrubs along the pool here to create this really beautiful hedge. And this is only their 2nd year in. We had about 3 that were set back a little bit by the top of that tree falling and crushing them. This one I had to replace, so this one's a little bit smaller. And then this one had a lot of broken pieces on it, and then this one did fine. And then the one in the center there had a lot of broken pieces. So, but I'm amazed at how it looks like a pretty solidly even hedge for the most part. But the blooms are just fantastic. They're huge. And these will fade to a really beautiful antique, rusty, pinkish red color. And they stay on until you cut them off. It's really one of the most carefree, beautiful shrubs there is, in my opinion. But here, I'll zoom back out so you can see the whole pool area. The deck is a little messy because we've had a lot of rain, and a lot of the flowers have dropped and are, you know, stuck to the the deck right now. But we got our flags up. We had, you know, had a 4th of July party out here, so I still got our flags up. But everything's looking really beautiful and lush and green. The hydrangeas are some hydrangeas are starting to turn. The ones that are, you know, they bloomed early on in the season. I've got some anemones that are about to bloom. They're getting ready. And here's my Big Daddy hydrangeas. These have kind of flopped over because the blooms are so big that they are just really weighed down. But look at how beautiful that is. Look how big it is. It's a lot bigger than my hand. And that one's called Big Daddy. These in here are called Nantucket Blue. And that's what they look like when they first bloom out. Really pretty. You're being playful this morning, aren't you? Huh? Yeah? There's Peaches back in there. Here's the walkway. It's a bit of a mess, but still beautiful. Remember that video where I planted these and how small they were? Look at it now. It's all full and looking beautiful. And Betty Corning is still blooming. This really pretty clematis. This one's just been blooming all summer, which I find really awesome. And here we've got some David phlox. It's kind of flopped out into the pathway a bit. And then we've got the fountain going there. The geraniums on the wall are still looking really great. I'm surprised at how well they're blooming when I haven't fertilized them in a month. They're looking really, really nice. And you can tell I haven't been fertilizing these. There's like hardly any blooms on them. That's, it's a super bell, but I can't remember the name. I know I said it in another video. can't remember. But I've got the agapanthus blooming, and the hummingbirds love these. And I actually have my husband bring these pots in to our garage, and they overwinter. I planted all of these plants in here last year, and they've all been doing very well. Here's our pretty fountain, which I absolutely love and adore. It really brings this relaxing vibe, hearing the water. And look at Pompanella blooming back in there. Do you see that? And then we've got some nasturtiums. More clematis with some weeds back in there I've got to take care of. And it looks like I need to cut back my Super Tunia bubblegum as well. And here I've got pineapple sage. And they have really bright red flowers, which the hummingbirds love. None of them are blooming right now though. Oh wait, this one has a little few. See? It smells really, really good if you crush the leaves up in your hands, or even just rub them. It smells like pineapple. I love it. And here's some more nasturtiums. These are really pretty. Look at that, with the variegated leaf, and then the beautiful bright cherry red. But this here is my Satsuma mandarin tree. All of my citrus trees are doing really great. This is a variegated lemon in the back, which I don't think there's any fruit on it right now. I think there's a couple of blooms that are about to open. But this tree had gotten sick last year, and so I had to put him into rehab. And so he's mainly been concentrating on putting out new leaves this year and not fruit. This one here is, what is this? This is my lime, my key lime. That's right, that's what this is. So that's a key lime. And then back behind that one is my navel orange, Washington navel, which I don't see any on there this year. Oh, there's one little one. Bummer. Yeah, it's not doing as good as it was last year, but that's kind of how it goes. Here's my sweet kumquat. This one tends to bloom late. This one here has grown so much. These were like little babies. This is a Persian lime. That's one of my newer ones. All these in the gray pots here are newer trees. I got them this past winter. And I think I'm done buying more now because I don't have a lot of space. And my husband's like, I have to carry all these things into the garage every year. I'm done adding more to the collection. So I'm like, I respect that. I understand that. So, okay, so this one's a clementine, really healthy, fresh leaves. The one next to it is a lime quat, which there are actually a few fruits on there, which is awesome. And then the one next to it, the drainage hole got plugged and it sat in a lot of rain. It's a Manola Tangelo. This one sat in a lot of rain, and so it did not do very well. I didn't realize it until I started seeing it yellow, and it was so saturated, when the soil starts to smell. So finally we got, put a new hole in the bottom and got it drained, and it's now recovering. This one is a calamondin. No fruit on it this year, which is totally fine. I mean, these are like little baby trees when I first got them, so they've been working on growing instead. Oh, there's a teeny tiny one right there. I don't know if that one will actually turn into anything. You know how sometimes fruit can just end up falling if the tree can't support it. So this one, ooh, look at that. I don't remember what this is though. It's got a piece of fruit on it though. Navel Cara Cara orange. awesome. Look at that. So we'll have an orange this year. This is a new one too, a baby tree. So I'm just excited to see one piece of fruit on it. That's awesome. And then here's my great old Mexican lime, which has lots of fruit on it. This one does really well every year. And we bring all these trees into our garage to overwinter, and they do just fine. So if you live in an area like mine, where it's like, you know, you still get freezing temperatures in the winter, you can keep citrus in pots and, you know, wheel them out. Our winters are really mild, so we'll actually pull these trees out on warm winter days. I mean, we'll have a week, 2 weeks that happen sometimes where, I mean, it is in the 50s and 60s in winter. And so we'll pull the trees out and they do just fine. And then if we get a cold snap, we'll bring them back in and they do just fine with it. Oh, look at this. This is my ruby red grapefruit. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have a grapefruit. Yay. It's not looking very good right now though. I don't know why. Maybe because this pretty plant is taking all the energy, but oh my goodness, I'm so excited about that. Oh, and then this is my Meyer lemon right here. And this is an older tree as well. I've had for a very long time, probably, gosh, 10 years. And so it's in a really big blue pot, and it's been doing really well for me as well. Oh, and then this huge thing right here is some more pineapple sage, which, oh, I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. Okay. All right, so this is the pool area. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hi. Do you smell the pineapple sage? Does it smell good? All right, we're gonna go head back to the vegetable garden now. One thing I forgot to tell you guys, because the kitties have been in and out a lot during my videos. But one thing that I forgot to tell everyone is that sadly, my favorite kitty, O'Malley, I don't know if you remember, he's our big orange fluffy cat. We had to put him down this summer, unfortunately. I miss him so much. He was the sweetest kitty ever. And I know he was in and out of a lot of my videos. So if you go back and watch some of my previous videos, you'll see him. And I'll put a picture of him up on the end of this video so you can see him as well. But he had a blood clot in the back of his legs. And the crazy thing is that literally right before we were leaving for Colorado, like seriously 20 minutes before we were leaving to go to the airport, he came inside and I noticed he wasn't right. He started kicking his legs really funny, and then like really quickly he lost function in both legs. It was almost like he went paralyzed and he was dragging himself around on the floor, and this was 20 minutes before we were leaving to go to the airport. So we had to rush him to the animal hospital, and you know, the doctor said that it was a blood clot and the kitties can't really recover from something like that. So we ended up having to put him down. And then we went straight to the airport to get on a plane. I was like, I can't do this right now, because I was so devastated. I mean, he's my favorite cat. Such a sweetheart. He follows you around like a puppy. And he was just the sweetest thing. He was like my cuddle bug. I called him my little lion. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that, because that was really a bummer. Super hard to deal with this summer, along with being sick. My goodness, it's been a crazy summer. So sometime in the near future, we may end up getting another kitty, because I really love having a big fluffy cat. I love all my other cats, of course, but there's just something about having that, like, they're just like cuddle bugs, and they're just so sweet and fluffy, and you just want to like cuddle them. So we're probably going to look into getting another cat sometime soon, and we'll be happy to show you the new kitty when we get it. But yeah, so I just wanted to make that as a side note, because that was really hard to go through, and just thankful that, you know, honestly, I'm thankful that it happened before we left, because I mean, it's crazy on the timing of that. I'm telling you, like, God has everything under control, because it would have been terrible to come home and find him, you know, dead, or, you know, just, you know, not being able to say goodbye. So, I mean, we were able to say goodbye to him and be there when they put him down and everything. And that kind of stuff is really important to me. So I am thankful for that I was able to be there when he had to go back up to heaven. So anyway, okay, so now we're gonna go out to the vegetable garden, and I'll show you that area. Okay, here is the vegetable garden. It is got a lot of stuff going on, lots growing. A lot of it is taking over. We've got a lot of green beans here with some cucumbers intertwined. When I planted these green beans, the package said they were bush green beans. And I'm pretty sure they were mislabeled, because they are going all over the place, up the trellis, all over. So I've been trying to keep it contained, but that's pretty hard to do. But we've been getting a lot of good green beans off of them. They are the Blue Lake variety. And then I also planted Thai Soldier in the center. And then back here, I finally cleaned out those onions and garlic. And I planted a new variety of purple. And then I've got some cilantro and basil seeds growing in here. The basil doesn't look like it's doing very well, and that's probably because it's been raining like crazy. And then I also planted lettuce seeds, which I'm not seeing any sprouts yet, but maybe they just take a little bit longer. I don't know. I also planted some gourd seeds down in here, if you can see them. And it's been really tough to try to keep this little guy out of this bed. But there's lots of cucumbers in here. They're growing on the trellis. You can see. And look, there's one here. It's lots of fun. I love growing things on growing fruit and vegetables on trellises. It's so fun. It's a really easy way to, oh my goodness, look at this. Completely taken over. Which is fine. I'll get some good green beans out of it. Looks like I got some picking I need to do of the Thai Soldier. Let's see if I can get in there and show you what Thai Soldier looks like. Look at that. Isn't that neat? It's a really cool green bean. And then most of these are Blue Lake, which are like your, you know, just the standard variety green bean, which I need to come out here and pick some more, it looks like. Got some cucumbers to pick. I'll just set that there for right now and come back and get it later. As you can see, I've got some messes to clean up here. This swan gourd has completely taken over. Look at this. It's just gone everywhere. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's gotten really big. Oh my goodness, it's heavy. We've got a lot of white flies. And I think I saw another huge gourd over here. Yes, look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this monster. That is huge. This is my first time growing gourds. Oh, look how big that is. He's heavy. I'll have to come back out here and get him. There's vines everywhere. Looks like the sunflowers are just about done. And then I've got some nasturtiums. And the Mexican petunias are not doing so well. Oh my goodness, there's whitefly everywhere. Tomatoes are doing okay. The cherry tomatoes have done the best. Cherry tomatoes always do the best for me. See, there's lots of tomatoes I need to harvest. And there's one back there too, a big one actually. But as you can see, everything has gotten really overgrown and wild. And then these tomatoes over here aren't doing so hot, and I think that's because they're just not getting a lot of sun, and it's been raining so much. So they're just not doing as well. I really need to move them to another spot, but they're so heavy because the soil is soaked. Okay, let's go over here. We got some pretty lilies that are blooming. They're kind of on their last leg here. Faded out a bit, but still worth noting. All the roses are kind of in their lull right now. And then we've got some cucumbers growing on this trellis here, which I don't know what in the world happened. All those are dying off. They were just fine a couple of days ago. I don't know if they're just getting too much rain or what. But we got, look, I got a few cucumbers here. Nice. Gotta pick those too. Oh, and looks like our friends just got here. Oh, before I show you that, look at this. Chinese red noodle beans. Isn't that fun? I probably should have planted those all the way down because those seem to be doing the best in the shade. All this other stuff is like not happy with all the shade. Oh my goodness, what in the world? My zucchini, Black Beauty, it was doing just fine a couple of days ago. I bet you it's the rain. We've had so much rain. Oh man, that's disappointing. So strange. Huh. That is so weird. Okay. Well, let's go back over here. Oh, and it looks like they're here to fix the window today, finally. Hi. So when they're done with that, I will show you our new sunroom because it'll be finally finished. But here is all of our shade plantings. I've got oak leaf hydrangea, macrophylla hydrangea. I've got Japanese maples. I've got hostas back in here. And I've got a viburnum. I've got lots of pretty shrubs back in here. And this is kind of a little pathway. Hey, baby. You sweet thing. Ooh, watch out. And then back in here is the fairy garden, looking all nice and overgrown with weeds. This reseeded itself here. I'm telling you, it will reseed everywhere. But as you can see, there's a lot of there's a lot of weeds that have popped up that need to be taken care of back here. But for the most part, this spot's not that bad because we put that landscape fabric down. But this area, oh my gosh, so many weeds. So many weeds. It's okay though. We'll take care of it. It's just what happens when you've been traveling and you've been sick and trying to just keep the house straight doing that. Forget about the garden. Like, just trying to keep the house straight, especially when you've got a house our size. Like, oh my gosh. I love our home and I'm not complaining, but it's a lot to take care of. And I'd almost rather have like a big plot of land with a smaller house. But again, I'm not complaining. I love our home. It's just a lot to take care of. So, especially when you got a big garden too. But definitely gonna have to come in here, clean it up. So I'll post another video of how it looks after we've cleaned it up a bit. The weeping willow is doing great. It has grown a lot. It's really pretty leaves. I love these leaves. Hostas are doing pretty well. Just got to pull the weeds out from around them, because there's a lot of them. That is such a pretty hosta. I love the variegation on that. Now all these hostas in here were from Gilbert H. Wild, and I did that deal where they send you random, bulk hostas. It was like $150 for 100 hostas. And so I just planted them all in here. So they're on the smaller side, obviously, because they were bare root. But in a few years, they're gonna, they already look really beautiful. That's a good size hosta. It's really not bad. I planted a macrophylla hydrangea there. And then of course, I've still been collecting hostas. I've got several on the side of the house right now that I have to plant, along with another oak leaf hydrangea and another plant that I don't have yet. It is some sort of like lily that's supposed to spread pretty easily in shade. I forget the name though. Hi, baby. Hi, kitty. Yeah, there's still a lot of weeds in here, and that's okay. Like I said, we'll do a before and after. This is the before. But look at the caladiums. If you go back and through my video history, you'll find a video on caladiums that I did earlier where I planted all these, and you can see the difference in the size. It's really awesome. These have filled in really nicely. They've done very well. Yeah, these have still some weeds in there, but filled in very nicely. And I love red flash. Red flash is so big. Look at that. So pretty. Definitely my favorite caladium. It's awesome. Whew, I'm sweating, y'all. It is humid out here. So humid. Oh my goodness. Look at how big those hydrangeas are. Aren't they great? Oh, I love them so much. So, so pretty. Also, I forgot to mention, those of you who are new, we have created all of this ourselves. We have not hired any landscapers or designers to do this stuff. We've done it all on our own. So just want to encourage you to get creative. If you're, wanting to do a garden project, get creative with it and get a piece of paper, do some drawings, and look through Pinterest, look through garden books to get inspiration on what kind of plants that you love. And in time, you can really create something very beautiful. Look at this beautiful flower. Look at this dahlia. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I don't remember what this is called, but man, that is gorgeous. I might have to cut that one and bring it into the house. So because it's kind of like on the ground right now, but that is beautiful. And this, look at this coreopsis. Isn't that pretty? Very dainty. This is called apricot, I think. No, shades of rose. Here it is. Coreopsis shades of rose. Really beautiful coreopsis. Unusual, because they're usually very yellow, not pink. So I love that. That's great. Ooh, found some strawberries. Oh, yum. Okay, I have not been on this side yard here in quite some time, but things are actually looking really good. There's not a ton of weeds, which is really surprising. We have been weeding a little bit. We had the kids weed on the side here, so that probably is why it looks pretty good right now, because they worked hard out here to clean it up. Everything's looking really great. The foxgloves have kind of past their prime. I probably need to cut those down a little bit more right in here. I'm really looking forward to fall when these Japanese maples are really going to stand out and look really beautiful. So we'll definitely do a video when the Japanese maples are looking beautiful in the fall, because I've got a lot around the house, so you're going to want to see that for sure. My Daphne didn't make it. I planted 3 Daphne in this area, and now I'm down to 1. It still looks good, but the other 2 didn't make it. Hopefully this one will hang on and do well. And then I had an azalea die, but there's still 2 that are doing just fine. So the alliums are looking nice. And the coneflower is doing pretty well too. Just a lot of grass and weeds. Oh, there's a rose bloom over here. Let's check it out. This is my I put a sweet mademoiselle in here. Oh, it's a little faded. And there's a Japanese beetle in there. Surprise, surprise, they're all over the place. A little shabby, but hey, at least this looks great. I love Japanese maples. And down in here, the butterfly bush is doing well, but my Munstead roses look terrible. Look at this. Usually they're covered in leaves this time of year. I'm worried that voles got to them, because remember, I had 3 Queen of Sweden roses here and voles ate those. So I'm wondering if they moved on to here, because they look terrible. So I think that's what happened. if that is the case, I'll probably end up pulling these up, and I might just go along with the theme. Actually, probably should actually, to balance out the front of the yard, and I might put a limelight hydrangea here. That way they're kind of dotted all over the front yard area. It'll balance it out nicely, I think. I think that's what we might have to do. Man, these look rough. That's a bummer, because Munstead wood, that's a beautiful rose. It smells so good too. Oh, but you know, that's what I'm finding with David Austin roses. They'll do good for a few years, and then they just kind of like wimp out. I don't know. I guess they're just really meant for more of an English climate instead of deep south climate. So, but Goldstrom's looking great. Look at this. I just threw down some seeds here and this came up. So if you're a new gardener and you want pretty flowers that don't take a lot of care, just throw down some Rudbeckia seeds and you'll get some really pretty blooms out of it. But this is a big jumbled mess right now. Not surprised. It's the middle of summer. Hey, it happens. But y'all, look at this. Look at Summer Romance. Look at how tall that is. It's like 10 feet tall. Isn't that crazy? I'm telling you, this rose is incredible. And I'm gonna have to cut it back because it'll just keep going. It's amazing. Okay. And here's the cottage garden area again. Just going to show you one last time. I know we already covered this area, but oh, it's so pretty. I love it. All right, so that is my garden in July, late July, July 23rd. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a weedy mess, but that's okay. It's nature, and I embrace nature for the most part. I will post a post-weeding video so you can see how everything looks when it is cleaned up a bit. And I will probably get another video going when I plant out the rest of those hostas that I've got sitting on the side of the house. And then as well, I'm going to be planting some carrot seeds in some really big containers to hopefully get some like longer style carrots. I ordered some seeds from Baker Creek. Those, I forget what they're called, but they're a Japanese type of carrot, and they get really, really long. So I'm going to really like fluff up the soil and try to grow some really long carrots. And I'll probably include the kids on that project because they love growing carrots. It's one of their favorite things to do, I guess, because it's just so easy. You just sprinkle the seeds down, and then, you know, a little while, you know, we'll wait till spring to harvest them. And it's just really cool to watch the whole thought process of like, wow, this was a seed and now it's this huge root. It's really cool. I love gardening with my kids. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope that you like it and that you choose to subscribe, because I'm always pumping out more videos over time. It's been a little slow this summer, but that's all right. But anyway, I hope y'all have a great summer, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.